Hey. All right. Well, hey, good day to everybody. Whether you're watching this in the morning or the afternoon or even having a lunch or some dinner, I just want to welcome everyone in. My name is Bo Ford. I'm the Digital Equity Program Manager with the New Mexico State Library. I work out of Santa Fe, and Janet asked me if I'd like to come in and talk about online safety, internet safety and security and protecting your data. And I definitely agreed to do that. So um, I'll go through about maybe about 9 or so slides here to help everyone understand, what the internet is, what cookies are, and how to protect yourself as you begin to adopt a lot of these new technologies. um, in regards to digital equity, some of you guys may be thinking, what is that? It's a newer program for the state, in conjunction to the Office of Broadband and initiatives with the Office of Broadband to provide connectivity to New Mexicans throughout the state. And without broadband in the ground, there's really no meaningful use of the technology. So I'm going to get into a little bit what broadband is, what the internet is, and I won't talk about digital equity much, but in short, it's about service offerings, devices, having the proper device, having the proper assistance to use your device, and having the assistance to learn new platforms and to learn technology. So this is certainly in the purview of my job. I'm not an IT specialist by any measure, but I do kind of have the umbrella of all things tech and economic development a little bit. So when you think about um, connectivity, how it can affect someone's goals, whether it be education, employment, civic participation, just any type of meaningful use of technology, quality of life. So that's kind of what digital equity is, and I help the libraries throughout the state to achieve some type of standardization for that. So I'll get into my slide presentation. So what is the internet? That's why I wanted to start. Most people don't know what the internet is. I mean, we use it every day. We need to connect to it, connect to the Wi-Fi. But I just wanted to talk a little bit about it. And as the slide shows, the internet is a global network of interconnected computers, and I have a video that'll kind of further break that down. The internet allows different devices, such as your computers, your tablets, smart watches, things like that. Obviously, your phones to connect to other computers and devices across the world, across the state, in your community. Um, for many people, as you know, the internet is a primary source for information. Whether you like CNN, Fox News, MSNBC, NPR, your local radio station, entertainment, sports, social media, news, online banking, and shopping, it impacts every every part of your life, health and education for sure. So I just want to get into what the internet is, and I'll just play this video right here. Give it a minute to load. Let's see if it'll load. It's thinking. Oh, okay, there it is. It's loading up. Let's see, it's asking me to download something. Um, okay. I'll just browse YouTube then. Okay, very good. All right, how the internet works. And
Drinking warm water before bed balances blood sugar levels and reverses type 2. Thousands of people are apparently regaining control.
okay, here we go.
Hi all, in today's video we'll talk about the internet and find out how it works. If you thought that the internet works by satellite, find out that you were wrong. So how does the internet work and where does it come from? Before starting this video, don't forget to activate the subtitles and smash the like button. The internet is everywhere but still nowhere. He is on the phone, TV, or computer, but where exactly does he come from? Every time you receive a notification, access a site, or send an email, the data is sent via cables that are found all over the globe and so reach the recipient. The data you want to access on the internet is very far away from you and is stored at companies such as Google, Facebook, or other hosting companies. From here, your data may be transmitted to you via a satellite. But this is useless because the bandwidth of a satellite is very limited and leads to long delays. So what's the solution? Well, find out that data on the internet circulates mostly through fiber optic cables that cross the earth under seas and oceans among sharks and other strange creatures. The cables are very, very thick to protect the optical fiber inside, which is very fragile and sensitive. These cables are connected to landing stations located on the shores of the oceans, and from there, the internet goes to an entire continent, forming a huge network. If we found out where the internet comes from, now let's see how it works. To better understand, let's take a concrete case. Let's say you want to access certain data from the internet from a phone or a laptop that is connected to the internet via cable or Wi-Fi via a router. The data you want to access, for example, a video on YouTube, is stored in a data center on an SSD of a server. But how does this data get to you? Any device connected to the internet is identified by a unique group of numbers called the IP address. And the IP address of your phone or laptop, for example, is given by your internet service provider. Also, the server where the data you want to access is stored also has an IP address. So, through the IP, the information has a sender and a recipient. Moreover, if you want to access google.com, for example, it also has an IP address hidden under a domain name to be easier to use. Because for us humans, it's much easier for us to remember google.com than to remember numbers like 105.39.4.284. This is where DNS technology comes in, which works like a phone book. Specifically, DNS associates a name for each website IP address in the world. From here, this data request that you made is transmitted to the respective server, and the data transfer to you starts. The data flows through the fiber optic cable system in the form of light pulses and thus reaches your router. From here, the data is transmitted by the router in the form of electrical signals via internet cable or Wi-Fi. But what if you use the internet through mobile data? Well, the signal is transmitted through the same optical cables to a cell tower, and from here, the internet is transmitted to you in the form of electromagnetic waves. In the end, I think it's quite important to know what the internet is and where it comes from, given that we use it daily. And without it, our lives would have been much harder in all respects. Thanks for watching.
All righty. Well, I just wanted to show that video because it really does break down how we send and receive our information, and it gives you the history of the internet, which is predicated off of snail mail. Just addresses, sending and receiving things from one address to the next, but transmitting that information through fiber optic cables or projecting it off of towers if you're using mobile data. So satellite data is satellite service is also an option to receive service as well if they can't put the fiber optic cable on the ground and get it to your home. So from here, I'll get into the importance of online security. limited access to support and services. So, and that's for everybody. If you have Apple, you'll have um, Apple Care, or if you have Best Buy that you can get to, it'll be helpful to get there. But for a lot of folks that live in rural places, such as Jemez, there's not like a major city where that's um, close by us here. So that's why these presentations are important. The dependence on our online resources, everything is online. Increased vulnerability to scams, we know that. The potential for isolation, right? We'll hop online because we're bored and we want to look at YouTube videos or do some shopping, things like that. And limited awareness to education, just information that we need to have to live and thrive in today's world. The overview of online risks. So this is when it gets into, I guess, the tricks and the scams that are out there that you can fall prey to, which I want to make you guys aware of: the phishing, the malware, and the identity theft. So I'll just start with the malware, short for malicious software, and it's a software-based type of scam that's designed to harm or exploit any device, network, or service. So we'll get into examples of that in the next slide. And then the phishing is a type of online scam where the attackers they like to impersonate like a legitimate organization, or a person. Someone can fish for your information, like a bank or social media site, or even a trusted contact. So I'll get into that as well. So maybe an example just quickly is, oh, you've been awarded $5,000 and you need to click here to you know receive your $5,000, and it's Wells Fargo, but it's just spelled wrong or something like that. And then identity theft, that's when someone uses your personal information like your name, your social security number, credit card, without your permission. And just a rule of thumb on that, I don't personally do banking or online shopping on public networks. So those networks where you don't have to enter a passcode or anything like that, or if you're in a hotel and there's 50 or more hundreds of guests staying there, I would never pay bills or do online shopping there anywhere where I need to enter private information, because those are public networks and anyone has access to that, and with the right understanding of how to fish for information, or put malware on somebody's computer, or essentially just take your information in a way. You're really more susceptible by providing that information on those public networks. And so how it works. So phishing, it attempts to often come in the form of fake email, so text messages or websites designed to look real. They usually ask you to provide your login details, verify your account, or click on a link. I think we've all received that. You've received a $45 gas card, but you got to click here and click now. It always seems like an emergency. So make sure you take time before you just click on anything or click to receive your reward. And make sure that you take time when you're on the internet and understand what's your emotional state. Are you in a happy state? Are you in a sad state? Because certain phishing attempts are designed to um, steer towards one emotion or the next, whether you're happy or you're sad. And then malware can be installed on your device in many ways, through email attachments, downloads from sketchy websites. And once it's installed, it can monitor your activities, steal your data, or even lock you out of your device. So those emails, if it says, open up this file now to receive, your reward, or make sure the website that you're going to is the authentic website. And I'll show you an example of that here. And then the attackers might obtain your information through phishing, data breaches, or malware. And then it's used to open a credit card accounts, make purchases, or access other personal accounts in your name. So It can happen through swiping your credit card at a a gas station that may have some type of like card reader on it that somebody um, maliciously installed, or it can happen again through like a data breach if you're at a hotel and you provided your credit card information to just do some online shopping or something like that. So I'll get into ways that you can be more aware of that on this next slide. So how to avoid it. So you want to look for signs like misspellings in the URLs, which is the www or HTTPS, unfamiliar email addresses that come in, um, or requests for sensitive information. We need you to confirm now, or avoid clicking on suspicious links or downloading, just frivolous attachments from unknown senders. So be mindful of your inbox, and we could get deeper into your email. How do you um I guess how do you manage your inbox? But I'll have a resource for you at the end of this presentation. And then you only want to download software or files from trusted sources, and keep your antivirus software up to date. That's really important. Just like the phones, they want you to update, your apps and update the software. So when you stay up to date, that means you're up to date with the current virus, like I said, antivirus software. And just be cautious of those pop-ups or unexpected downloads. And I'll give you a trusted source here at the end of this presentation that you can call this helpline if you run into any trouble. And then three, you just want to protect sensitive information. Just monitor your financial accounts regularly and be careful about sharing that personal data online, or like I said, over the phone. Even I fell victim to a scam. Comcast called me, and I was running into a meeting, and they said that I needed, my credit card for some information, and it sounded very truthful, but I ended up giving them, my card number, and I thought about it after the fact, and I said, "Oh man, that was a scam." So just make sure if you think it's a scam, it's probably a scam. Slow down before you provide any further information. And some best practices. So as far as your password, it should be 10 characters or more, with letters, numbers, and symbols, and not including any obvious personal information, such as Bo Ford, uh, 1234, or Janet Phillips, 6789, right? You want to kind of scatter the letters and the numbers and the symbols as it is, as you see here. I mean, that would be kind of impossible to guess that password. And then write your passwords down. Have a little notebook of the passwords that you created. When you create them right there on the spot, take time. If you're not ready to write them down, don't proceed any further. Just stop, get the notebook out, and then once you're ready to write the new password down, because it may not like that one that you created, then you create it, then you proceed, and then literally 2 minutes later you forget the password. So check the address for clarity. The difference here, I'm sure you can see the difference between the one on the left and the one on the right. www.wellfargo.com versus www.wellsfargo.com. So make sure you're mindful of the exact web address that you're going to, because that might be a scam on the other side of that Wells Fargo. And check to see if the lock symbol is in the address bar. That's a big one there. Um, as you can see at the bottom, wellsfargo.com, it has the lock symbol. Whenever you see that lock symbol before the HTTPS, um, not semicolon, but the two dots there, and you'll know that that's a secure website for you. Um, Avoid suspicious links. So again, you want a prize prompting to you to download something immediately. Headlines that are ambiguous and sensational that encourage you to click and read more are called clickbait. So again, that's not phishing, but that's now we're getting off into like AI where, they can use artificial intelligence to create images that look similar to, reality, but it's very far from it. And clickbait just opens the wide world of the web to, you know, um, your information. So malicious websites are not helpful whatsoever. So again, headlines that are ambiguous and sensational, and it has this crazy headline, just kind of stay away from those. I would stay on the regular news websites, the regular shopping websites when you're online. And again, just make sure that when you're online, you're in a comfortable place. You're not too excited. You're not too down, I guess. Sometimes your clicking habits can send you in a bad direction. And we'll get into that later. And then online shop or pay bills from your home connection. That's what you want to do. So that you want to pay bills from home on your home Wi-Fi connection because it's safe and only you know the password. This now we're getting into browser tracking. So whatever you put into your web browser, it's being tracked. And so it's not a coincidence that when you begin to, speak in conversation about a red scarf, and then Amazon has a red scarf presented, or whatever you shop, they'll offer comparable options to that. That's because they're tracking. So as it reads, whenever you're online, the sites you visit and the stuff you click on all leave a little trail. And we'll get into this. Websites use things called cookies to remember what you've been up to in your web browser. And they might keep an eye on your browsing through your user accounts. So if you create an account for Amazon, or you create an account for YouTube, it's not usually a big danger to your online safety, but it's good to know how your info gets tracked and used. So for example, YouTube, Netflix, they collect your information. Amazon, Walmart, or there's not, I'm from Michigan, I was going to say Kmart or something like that, but maybe Smith's or Ralph's or something like that. And so to get into cookies remember the details about the websites you check out and the stuff you click on while surfing the web. I do have a video about that, but that's in the resource that's at the end of this presentation. So if you don't have an account on a site, this info usually gets stored in a cookie right there in your web browser. And for instance, let's say you visit a news site. It might use cookies to remember if you've been there before and what stories you like, so it can remember similar ones next time you visit. So cookies are basically tracking devices for your clicking habits. So if you again go and click on Nikes, they're gonna remember that you click Nike. So the next time you go to that website, they have your IP address, and then they'll know what you like to shop for. And then if we get into networks, if you're using your Wi-Fi at home, it's important to keep it safe from sneaky people who might try to snoop on your stuff. Setting up Wi-Fi security might seem tricky, but don't worry. If you're not sure what to do, you can always ask your internet provider for some help to set up your Wi-Fi. So just a few tips. Keep your Wi-Fi signal just strong enough for your house so it doesn't reach too far. So that's something you can talk to your service provider about, how to manage that. You don't want your neighbor or anyone else getting your signal. And hide your Wi-Fi name from other people nearby, so you don't put Karen's home Wi-Fi. Just do something crazy or creative that people never think of. Water 8899 or something. People will never know who that is. Again, choose a strong password or phrase that's easy for you to remember but hard for others. Use your MAC address filtering to stop any unwanted devices from connecting to your Wi-Fi. So that's a feature when you set it up that you can select that you do want it set so unwanted devices aren't connected to your Wi-Fi. And make sure that your Wi-Fi uses these two protective services. And also, if you're using the WEP, that's the older form of security protection, like the original form of it. Just make sure you have a really strong encryption and I'm sorry, encryption as possible. But mostly each Wi-Fi that you're going to set up for home Wi-Fi is going to have the WPA or WPA2. The WPA2 is just the second version of the WPA. And just to conclude this, I know it kind of went relatively quickly, and I, was hoping to have more of an audience to do some Q&A, but some resources for you to help you understand different technologies, different softwares, um, such as maybe the TikToks or the Instagrams or how to shop online or pay bills, anything like that. Tech Life and Unity, they have a lot of good tutorials for that. Be Internet Awesome for Kids by Google. It's something that you can teach to your grandkids or children. Should you find the time to do that, you guys can learn together that way. The Older Adults Technology Service from AARP. You can browse their digital equity curriculums, and they have the hotline there that's offered Monday through Friday and Saturday. And you can ask them any question, from my understanding, any question: how to set up your internet, how do you get a virus off your phone or computer. And then if you want more learning, you can go to the Goodwill Community Foundation, and they'll have added resources there for you for technology, in addition to internet safety, computer basics. They'll teach you about what a computer is, the internal components of a computer. They have a typing and a mouse tutorial. And it's just a learning platform. So the internet and the computer is just one, kind of part of their learning curriculum, but they have a lot more to offer. And it's pretty user friendly as well. So I wish I had some folks to give some questions to, but that's okay. You can talk to Janet here at Jemez Springs Public Library, and she'll point you in the right direction, or I'm sure she'll reach out to me, and I'll get her an answer for any follow-up questions. So thanks for
Well,
having me.
I'm sorry, a few
Yeah.
people did sign in, and I've offered to them that they can type their questions into the chat or just unmute themselves and ask you.
Was that
And
okay?
yeah. And I have one that I'll start off with. I'm not sure if this is an area of expertise for you. I've heard that having a VPN can be helpful. Is that something you can address?
You know what? Again, I'm not the techie kind of guy. I just kind of have that general kind of understanding of the virtual private network. A VPN is something in regards to I wouldn't say software, but it's more how you protect your internet connection. And I would probably need a little bit more, in information in regards to what they want in regards to a VPN. So sorry, I can't clearly answer the question without a little bit more meat on that question.
No problem. Do you have any suggestions for people when they're traveling, if they're traveling for an extended period and they need to pay some bills from afar? Is there a safe way to do that?
I would say connect from the hotspot on your phone. If your phone has a hotspot, connect from your hotspot. Sometimes if I'm traveling and I go to a library, and the library is relatively empty, and I get on their website, or I'm sorry, on their internet, I feel comfortable there. but not in like a hotel or a Barnes and Nobles or anything like that. So most phones have hotspot capability, and you should be able to hotspot from your phone to your computer, and then that's just your connection.
Great, thank you. And
I'm gonna
now,
stop sharing the screen.
okay, I'd like to invite the other attendees to unmute and ask questions if you have some.
Hey, Thomas and Susan, Bo here again with the New Mexico State Library. I'm not sure when you hopped into the presentation here, but it went a little bit quicker than what I thought. But it just kind of covers the basics, and Janet has access to the slides, so I can you know, I guess hand it over to her. Well, she has a slide, so if you want the slide deck, I'm sure she can email them to you. So if there's no further questions, I'm gonna hop off, and I'll maybe see you guys the next time I'm asked to speak.
All right, thank you so much. And if we get questions via email or something, I'll send them your way. And
Okay.
very much appreciate it. And we will post this online along with the slide deck, if that's all right with you.
Oh yeah, no, you have my okay to do that, and if I hope it's meaningful. I hope the information is helpful.
Great. It looks like Tom unmuted. So Tom, did you have?
Just thank you for the presentation.
Oh yeah, hey, no problem. Yeah, I tried my best here. I'm not really the I'm more the the meaningful use of technology, but internet safety is certainly a part of that. So I, gave you guys some resources and put some slides together, and hopefully it makes sense. I really like to open it up with the what is the internet, because it kind of opens up that pathway to learning, and I try to like lead you down a path to make you want to learn more.
I did have one question about online banking.
Yes.
Initially, it seemed like it was more secure to do banking old school with a check sent through the mail rather than
Right.
online. But it seems like recently, I've heard stories about checks getting stolen, different things, that online banking has almost become a more secure way of doing bill pay.
Yeah. I could see that. I could definitely see that. I do most of my banking online. Even now, if I have a check, I have Chase Bank, so I'll just kind of deposit that check virtually, just by scanning it, and then it goes right into my account. It might take a couple of days for them to review it, but I mostly pay all of my bills online. I don't send checks through the mail or anything like that. That's just my perspective, I guess.
I've also recently heard stories of people, I'm going to call it a love scam on the computer, um, where people try to make relationships online and end up opening up to people and sending them money.
Yeah, no, you're right on you're right on target. That's was probably my first aha moment of digital equity and inclusion. I went to a conference in San Antonio, and there was a session about internet safety, and someone mentioned a dating scam. So, someone went to a library, let's just say, and they the librarian helped this person get a profile set up, and again, you look at our geography here in New Mexico, maybe trying to date in a small town, maybe that's just not working for you. So hey, you kind of set your radar for other towns, things like that, and that kind of opens you up to the wide world of the web. And that person didn't know that the person that on the other end was not the person that they appeared to be. So I guess if you're not, it's kind of hard to say now with AI and voice recognition and things like that, where people can use machines to change their voice. But again, if you feel like it's a scam, people are trying to, hey, I need you to send me $1,000. I'm in need. But that's how they break you down is, they get to know you. And then, once they get you to an emotional point when you're wrapped up in the relationship, and then they ask you for $500, you might be a little bit more susceptible to send it then. So it's definitely something to be mindful of online dating, and people do prey on older adults because of their lack of intelligence with like social media platforms. So it is something to be aware of for sure. Susan, I see you pulled yourself on.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. We can hear you.
Okay. So what are the common sites that should be avoided for getting targeted?
Like I said, you have to really watch your browsing history. So just make sure, like, if you're going to Google, you're typing in the word Google effectively, Facebook. I don't think there's any sites more than any other. I just know that, like, with YouTube, there's a lot of clickbait going on. You can just go down a rabbit hole of videos that mean nothing. As far as, like being targeted for a scam, it's probably more so like those dating websites. Um, you gotta, if it's not like I don't know the dating websites, but eHarmony, if it's not like eHarmony and it's some of these like kind of newer sites, or um some of these sites where so like it'll say these are the top 10 signs of depression in the winter or something like that. And like those kind of clickbait articles, those are more so the places where you can get susceptible to being scammed on, and banking, of course. So make sure, like it says, not wellfargo.com, but Wells Fargo. So more so banking and dating and shopping, so those fraudulent Amazon emails that come in, um, be mindful of those, and just kind of go through your spam folder in your email, and you'll see what I mean as far as like a lot of just nonsense that is coming in. So I think having and that's another course that you can take on the Goodwill Community Foundation in regards to email, how to manage your inbox. That's where a lot of people fall victim to, is in their inbox, just kind of clicking on random unknown emails that are in there.
So anything that has misspelling or
Yeah.
anything that pops up like a choice for, like if you're trying to search for something and then there's choices.
Yeah, so like spin the wheel, click here and spin the wheel, and like just yeah, goofy things. Yeah.
Yeah. So the Goodwill site is a good one to go to for tutorials or,
Oh yeah, Goodwill Community Foundation. That's my home run website. So it's a learning platform, and I'll actually share my screen again so you guys can see what I mean by it. Um, I'll just go to Goodwill Community Foundation, and it's a learning platform. I mean, not just for older adults, just for anyone. And so as far as cookies, so you can go to cookie settings. I'll show you right here. when you go to settings. So you can click on what you want it to allow. So necessary cookies, some cookies are required to provide core functionality. The website won't function properly without these cookies, and they are enabled by default and cannot be disabled. So I should be collect on. Okay, so no, I have to have necessary cookies. Sorry. Um, sorry. Analytical cookies. They help this website improve their website by collecting and reporting information on usage. So they're saying that they're tracking your habits. So either if you want them to track that, you can or you can't. Marketing cookies. Cookies are used to track visitors across websites to allow publishers to display relevant and engaging advertisements. So do I want marketing? No. Okay. So I'll just save that. So I'm kind of like telling the website what I want it to do other than what they have to do. So again, Goodwill Community Foundation, 2,300 lessons, over 200 topics. We're talking about technology here, so we'll go to technology. And then you have Microsoft Office, Office 16, which is the newer form of it. This is what I mean by email basics. Let's just click on it. So email basics, introduction to email. We'll just start there. And do you ever feel like the only person who doesn't use email? Yes or no? And then it just kind of gives you a tutorial about uh, traditional mail versus email and email advantages, understanding email addresses, things like that. If you feel comfortable, you can keep moving on. And just to go back, I'll show you what it offers: contacts and calendars, email etiquette and safety, time-saving email tips, avoid spam and phishing. And then it just kind of gives you a basic quiz. So in addition to that, they have internet basics, search better, use information correctly, basic computer, typing tutorial, internet safety. This is where I actually pulled a lot of that information from. And then if you have a MacBook, you can go to Mac Basics. Then I'll just click on home. Then I'll get back here, and then I just like to go to all topics just so you can see what I mean. It's a really robust learning platform for you, and smartphones and tablets. You can learn more about your iPhone right there. Social media, this is a good one. So you got your Instagrams, your Zooms, your WhatsApp. Let's just go to Facebook, just because I just want to see what's in there. So what is Facebook? Understanding Facebook privacy. Again, it'll probably tell you that there's ways that you can, tell Facebook what you want it to do. Sharing and privacy. So it's just a robust platform. So I'm going to stop sharing. And do you guys have
So,
any further
so,
questions?
so that's gcfglobal.org.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
It's just the Goodwill Community Foundation. Yeah.
okay, thank you.
Oh yeah, no problem. I find it very, very helpful. I've taken their typing tutorial numerous times. It always cleans me up.
And Susan, we have that linked on our website, the library website, under other resources. You go to the main menu and you go to helpful links, and then it's under other resources. I think I'm going to move it out into something more specific with computer and scamming information on that same menu sometime soon, since we have so many new resources. Thank you.
Oh yeah. Oh, and remember the AARP hotline number. So once you get the slide deck, Janet can get you that telephone number. So it's always nice to have a number that you can call and talk to a live person. I don't think that the folks are over in Malaysia or Indonesia, no disrespect, but you know. Is there anything else before I hop off?
Jim?
I'll take silence as a good thing. Well, you guys take
Thank you,
care
Bill.
and just thanks for your time.
Thanks again.
No problem. Take care. Bye.